Hey, my name is Mark Boyd-Smith and I'm a Director of Product Design here at InVision. I want to take a couple of minutes to show you how we are using InVision to really get the most out of our collaborative experiences and the relationships that we have with our peer teams. Engineers, product owners, QA, you name it, anybody involved in the product development lifecycle. So let me show you some of the recent freehands that we've been working on. I want to start with the rolling agenda. It's obviously a very simple use case, but I think it really speaks to how we use InVision's freehand for every collaborative touch point that our teams make. I use this particular freehand for helping my teams pull together agendas for our upcoming team meetings. In this case, it's actually my design system team and our weekly sync. You can see here that pulling together the agenda is a collaborative exercise, and freehand allows us to capture ongoing conversation through notes and actions. To take that one step further, let's take a look at the team health check. If you've ever ran a retrospective with engineers before, you'll know that it can sometimes be a bit challenging because of the different dynamics in the room. Some people are quieter, some people more keen to get involved in an active conversation. This is obviously really difficult when you're remote as well. That just adds to the complication. And so I wanted to bring in a health check that was a bit of a leveler and created a really inclusive space for anybody involved in the exercise. It's really simple, and this is actually something we've turned into a template and we use week on week. InVision is a totally remote team, and so it's important that we have these touch points to get together, do something a little bit creative and build those relationships with people who we might never meet. And this is a great example of this. One of our designers pulled together this Jeopardy game. Jeopardy, not something, we had to have a British translation for this. It's not a game I've ever played before, but it was super fun. And you can see here how we're using emojis, GIFs. We're creating our own world. We created our own game show right here in InVision. We had so much fun doing this, and I think we're actually going to turn this into a template. But what I want to show you with this is just how much fun you can have and bring people together and create a really inclusive space for getting to know one another. Recently, we ran a project between our brand designers and our product designers to help evolve our brand language, specifically colors. And we actually used freehand to solve a challenge we were having. And that's that our designers on both these teams were using different design applications. This isn't uncommon. I think it's about 2/3 of teams have multiple different design applications that they might use. We are definitely no different. Our product designers typically are in either Sketch or Figma, whereas our brand designers live in the Adobe suite for all the reasons you might imagine, from motion graphics to print and web as well, XD being a fantastic complement to that suite. So we actually used freehand to bring the two sides together. We have plugins for both of these design applications, and you can see how easy it was for us to bring together designs from both sides and see how they compare and contrast. There was a challenge that we were having around accessibility. We always knew that it was going to require some maneuvering on the actual hex values of that color on the product side. So in order to solve the problem, what we did is we used the Figma integration to pull the product screenshots in. And little known fact, but the Figma integration is actually live updating. So our product designers were able to tweak those colors to get the right contrast levels while the brand team were watching. All of this within the context of a freehand. I'm also going to talk quickly about the task management side. Our designers in product design live in the Jira world, in the Atlassian world, just like our engineers do, where our brand designers, like marketing, live in Asana. And we needed to bring these two people together because we had tasks on both sides. And that's what you can see here. We were able to use those integrations to bring everybody together and log that work in the number of phases, regardless of which tool it originated from. I want to show you how we use freehand to bring together lots of different people in the product design lifecycle. This example here is actually something that our design system puts together when we're creating new components. We call it our new component template. What it does is give us the opportunity to create an ongoing conversation with the designers, engineers, product owners, and QA folks over on the consuming team. Oftentimes when you're creating a new pattern or component, there's a lot of back and forth and a lot of negotiation. this template really tracks all of that conversation so people can come in totally fresh and understand where the conversation was left off and what the next steps are. A couple of months ago, we decided that we would create an onboarding pack for new starters to the company to help them better understand how our design system works. And so we built the presentation right here in InVision. If you haven't seen this before, you can actually present directly from Freehand. This actually pulls everybody along who happens to be in that Freehand at that point, which is great. And we've launched this new feature to help really recognize audience participation and engagement. It's super fun. We also wanted to make sure that people could consume this through video and audio, again, thinking about how we could bring everybody along and be really inclusive about the information that we're sharing. And so we've attached a Loom video of our design system lead actually walking through this presentation. Finally, let me tell you about Spaces. I've given you this presentation completely within the context of Spaces. I've never left this view, and that's one of the beauties. We set up Spaces for different projects that we run, and we use them to collect and organize the different freehands, assets, external assets too, like Figma files or URLs, for instance, and we bring them into that one place so they're really easy to find. I've shown you how freehands show up in here, but it's worth pointing out that you can drop Figma prototypes directly in here too, or XD prototypes. You can link out to URLs, so you can see here we've linked out to our storybook URL for our design system. And you can even embed presentations, which looks awesome, by the way. So whenever we do a research study and we want to synthesize all of that research, we bring it together here. And you can scroll through just like a normal presentation. This one is actually attached to Google Slides. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I hope it's been informative. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn, or you can get in touch with our customer success team. Thank you.